Hey everybody, this is going to be a demonstration video on how to test for Morgan silver dollars at home using some of the most reliable techniques that I know about. I think we have 4 or 5 different tests here. So this is the Morgan that's in question. I got this from one of the members in the group. It's a pretty good fake. It passes a lot of the most significant ones, or in my opinion, the most significant one from what I've seen professionals use at the store is the weight test. We'll just start there. So this one weighs 26.73 grams, which is dead nuts on the weight that it needs to be. So if you look at this over here, the mass is 26.73 when you Google Morgan silver dollar. So that's dead nuts right on the money, which is amazing to think that a counterfeiter got it so accurate. I'm not sure if you got lucky or not, but this one on the scale weighs 26.73, which is really, really unique. So here's another test that, in my opinion, it passes, the visual test. So I look at Morgans every day, but I'm not looking at them through a loop or anything, but just looking at this one on the left here, which is the fake one, versus the right. The color may be a little off, but that could be, you know, it got cleaned or something and something else happened to it since it's been around. But visually, it looks pretty good to me on the obverse and the reverse. Another one of the signs that this is a potentially counterfeit, it's another 1889 CC, similar to the last one that I had a video of. So this coin does have numismatic value, but we're going to keep testing it to see if it's the real deal or not. So it passes the visual inspection for me, it passes the weight test, and it passes this test as well. So let's get this calibrated, 000. And it's at 38.09, which is basically exactly dead on the nuts here too. So 38.1 millimeters is where we need to be, and 0.01 millimeter is a tiny amount. So if you were testing, or if you got a bag full of these things, or a set, or a roll, and you just quickly looked at them, this one would easily get passed through that roll. So this, and the thickness, this is where they get us. So this is 2.95 millimeters thick, which means that it's about 20% thicker, which is how they get that extra weight. Okay, so it passes the visual, it passes the diameter, it passes the weight. Let's go ahead into the ping test. And you can use the ping test on your fingers. You don't have to put it in the pocket pinger. I just think it's easier and it sounds a little bit more clear to me. So here's the fake. Let's ping that again. So it's got a pretty high pitch. It's got a good duration to it. Now it certainly doesn't sound like a 90% coin metal. So here is the 90% silver Morgan, a real one. We're gonna put this one in here. You can hear that it has that, sounds like money, you know? Sounds like silver money. Nice duration, nice tone, beautiful pitch. The Morgan sounds really nice. Okay, so that's the real one. We'll do the fake one again. And maybe we'll try and do this on our finger too, just so you guys can see what that sounds like, the difference between the pinger and the finger. So on the finger, it doesn't last as long. The resonance isn't as long. So maybe, but it's still not passing. So here, listen to this. That is definitely the real one. I hope you guys can hear the difference. I think you can. Here's the fake one again. Cool. So the pocket pinger, it makes it a little easier. You don't have to worry about dropping it. And you can definitely hear how clear it is. It's definitely not a real Morgan. So, okay, so let's keep moving. So we have that test, the ping test failed. So here's the magnet test. And it does have some diamagnetic properties or some sort of magnetism going on. So you can't just use this like wave your hand over test. You actually have to use this slide test. And you can see it slides down pretty quickly. Right, versus a real one, which has a little bit more, it's like it's pumping the brakes, right? It's going slower. And you can't just trust the magnet test. And I know a lot of people are passionate about just using the magnet test, but here's an example. So here's a copper coin, and copper has similar diamagnetic properties as the silver does, right? So here's an example of a counterfeit copper with this counterfeit copper silver eagle with the silver plating on it. So this is a copper coin. So if you were only using the magnet test, you could be setting yourself up for trouble. So make sure if you're using the magnet test, and you get a pass, that you're also using other tests too to confirm that what you're looking at is actually what you're trying to see. So here's the real one, here's the fake one. So this failed the magnet test, failed the ping test, failed the thickness test. It does have reeded edge, so it passes that as well. And this next one here, this one's actually super beneficial, and I recommend everybody at least try this one time. It's really easy. All you do is you get your scale and you put a cup of water on it, and then you zero it out. And then what we're going to do is we're going to tie a loop into an end of a string, and then fish that line through, and then we just put it on there, and then you just tighten it on there to the coin, and then you very gently drop it in there. And then a little math problem is going to give us our specific gravity. So we've got 3.1. Make sure it's fully submerged in there. So we've got a 3.1 grams of submerged weight, right? So to do the specific gravity, we take the dry weight. Let me grab my computer. We take the dry weight, and then we divide it. So our dry weight was 26.73. And then we divide that by 3.1, and that gives us an 8.62 specific gravity. And here, I'll bring this onto the screen. How am I gonna do this? Can you guys see that? Okay, so there's my screen. So here's the math that we did. We had 26.73 divided by 3.1 gives us an 8.62. Here's our specific gravity chart. We look at this. Silver, where we want to be, is 10.31. So what we're looking at has a less specific gravity. A specific gravity of an 8.62 is less than copper and even less than nickel. So maybe it's some kind of brass coin, 7.3. So maybe it's like a tin or a zinc mixed in with some copper or some nickel. Something like that. I don't know. So I'm just pulling that from there. That's called swag, people. That's a scientific wild ass guess. But yeah, so that's how you use specific gravity, and we definitely know that we're not coin silver at 10.31. Cool. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. I hope you guys learned something. If there's anything that I can improve, let me know that as well. I definitely want to get better at all this kind of stuff. If you guys have another technique you didn't see here that you'd like to see, or that you'd like to share with me and maybe teach me, I'd be grateful to hear that too. I hope you guys are having a good day. Careful out there buying your coins. Some of them, like this one, will pass the weight test, the visual test, and that's a lot of experienced people just go by that. And if this was mixed in with a bag or a roll, or a set or something, this could easily get by. So be careful. Test every one of your coins, regardless of where you get it from, and use multiple different testing methods. Cool. Thanks for watching. Any questions, let me know. I hope you guys are having a good one. Take care. Bye.